Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Can Startup Stories, our speaker event. And this month, this edition, we are celebrating women entrepreneurs. And my name is Colin Weston. I am the community leader of Startup Vancouver, which is one of over 40 community chapters of Startup Canada across this country of ours. And this is the third time we've had the pleasure of showcasing women, featuring women entrepreneurs as part of our Can Startup Stories event. And this is now the 15th edition of the speaker series that we've had. And I'm just going to spend a minute or two here just doing some introductions here. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I see she just popped up on screen, so I'm going to introduce Leslie Duncan, who is my co-host and our MC for this evening that will be steering the ship here for the 2 hours of engaging with our 5 amazing, diverse innovators that are going to be sharing their journey with us tonight. Leslie, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me, Colin.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. So as I mentioned, this is the third year in a row that we've had the honor with Startup Vancouver of celebrating women entrepreneurs, and the second time that you have been the MC. And I just loved partnering with you last time that I had to invite you back. And I'm so glad that you said yes, that you would. So Leslie, I'll tell you what, I'm going to introduce you in a moment and let you take over the show for the rest of the evening. I am going to ask Fiona, our producer, if she can put my slide deck up there. And I'm just going to quickly run through that, and then I'm going to hand it over to Leslie here. All right. So this evening, as I mentioned, with Can Startup Stories, we have 5 amazing entrepreneurs and innovators from across the country. And the stories are so diverse tonight. And I'm very pleased that we are covering 3 time zones across Canada here today. So even though it is fueled by Startup Vancouver, this is a national show and that appeals to a national audience. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight from across the country. As I mentioned, my name is Colin Weston, the community leader of Startup Vancouver. We have had our chapter going for about 4 years now, and our purpose is to connect entrepreneurs to each other, to resources, to other events, locally, provincially, and nationally here, to create a sense of community and also increasing their chances for success. And before we get started, I do want to acknowledge that I am presenting today from Vancouver, from the unceded traditional territory of the Coast Salish people and the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And with Startup Vancouver, the best way to engage with us is on social media. We're very, very active there. So all of our events, upcoming and also ones that we've had in the past, and also all of our partners across the country. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and also our LinkedIn community page. And tonight, I encourage you all, if you're doing the social media thing, if you want to take some screenshots of our speakers tonight, please use the hashtag CanStartupStories, because that will help amplify our signal and give all of these amazing speakers a little more love and a little more social media bump for them also. So yeah, please do that if you're into that type of thing. About Startup Vancouver and Startup Canada, our 2 pillars are this. The first one is we collaborate, we don't compete. And the way that our collaboration allows us to scale and do all the things that we managed to do here is through our partners. And tonight, I am very pleased for the 2nd year in a row to have Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub to be the presenting sponsor of this impactful event. And Leslie's going to speak on their behalf in a few minutes. But I also want to mention our supporting sponsors, our partners tonight, Women Enterprise Center of BC, BDC, Business Development Bank of Canada, SFU Venture Labs, which has been such an amazing in-kind partner over the last couple of years. Back in the day, remember when we used to do events in person in a place? Well, we used to occupy their amazing space, and they reached out to me when we flipped it over to doing virtual events, that they're the ones that are the engine behind all this with their amazing team, especially with Pauline and Fiona that are in the background here making the magic happen tonight. Also with Kwantlen Polytechnic University School of Business and Futurepreneur Canada, also amazing supporting sponsors, and also our friends at Startup Canada that helped to fuel this. And with them, this event is part of their monthly Startup Women event series. So very, very pleased to have them on board again. And they have events running all month long. So please have a look at startupcan.ca for all the amazing events and resources and tools that they have there to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. So, and the other one I want to mention too, as part of our pillar, is that we make entrepreneurship welcoming and inviting for everyone. And we do our very best as part of that equity, diversity, and inclusion piece to make that happen. And what we started with Can Startup Stories, I should have said Van Startup Stories, was the precursor to Can Startup Stories, which now we have a national audience here doing them virtually. And this became a platform to showcase and give a voice to underrepresented communities within entrepreneurship, whether it's LGBTQ entrepreneurs, Indigenous entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, disabled entrepreneurs, and of course, with women entrepreneurs that we love to support as we do. This has really been part of our why with what we do and why we do it. People have always asked, well, can I get these recordings afterwards? And the answer is yes. So we will then have every one of our 5 speakers as a TED Talk style piece, and we'll put that on our Startup Vancouver YouTube channel. So if you want to watch those afterwards, or any of the other amazing, impactful stories that have been told, go there. That's the spot to find us. So this is meant to be an engaging 2 hours of conversation. So we're going to have each one of our presenters tell their story for around anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes. And then Leslie is going to then moderate a Q&A with any questions that you ask. So please, if you have any comments, questions, and you want to engage, we encourage you to do that within the Q&A section here of what we have on the platform with Big Marker here tonight. So again, my name is Colin Weston. You can connect with me there if you like. And now I do want to hand it over to my co-host and MC for this evening, Leslie Duncan, who's the operations director with SFU Venture Labs. Leslie, take it away.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate the introduction. And before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that SFU Venture Labs and the WEC BC Hub are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, and Colin, specifically the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. So I am here wearing 2 hats of the introduction, introducing both WEC, who is our presenting sponsor, and SFU Venture Labs. So WEC stands for the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. And the mission of WEC is to support women's entrepreneurial ecosystem and promote diversity and inclusion among entrepreneurs. It's a federal initiative that's part of the Women's Entrepreneurship Strategy, and SFU Venture Labs is proud to be the BC hub for WEC, working with all of those great organizations who have established and continue to grow and support the services for women entrepreneurs in the province. WEC is looking at creating and sharing research and resources on women's entrepreneurship in Canada. They provide support and connection to organizations on the front lines of the women's entrepreneurship ecosystem and promote diversity and inclusion. And WEC has recently launched a couple of really great initiatives that I want to share with you. One is the See It, Be It campaign. And so the goal of this is to challenge stereotypes about what an entrepreneur looks like. And so people don't immediately think of Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, but they think of the amazing women, some of what we're going to see today, who are really rocking the world of entrepreneurship. And they do this by sharing profiles of a diverse group of women who are doing amazing things in the hope that aspiring entrepreneurs will see their own potential in the women that are reflected in this. And so the database is available on the WEC National website, which I think is being shared in the chat. And then another exciting WEC initiative is the sharing platform, which was built with WEC's friends at Forum for Women. Well, now the forum was currently the Forum for Women Entrepreneurs and SheEO. And so the platform allows entrepreneurs to either ask for a type of help that they need. It could be consulting, it could be some sort of support, it could be somebody who's got experience in something or knows where you could find customers, or if you could give. So are you an experienced entrepreneur who's looking to help new and coming entrepreneurs help out with what they need? And so this platform allows both asks and gives, and really is a mindset of radical generosity in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so you can find the link to that as well in the chat. And SFU Venture Labs, to switch hats here, is a world-class business accelerator based out of Simon Fraser University. And we're part of the larger SFU Innovates group of enterprises. And what we do is support business in tech and science who are looking to scale their business. And so this is if you have an established company, you have a full-time founder, you are in the tech space or the health space, you're looking to commercialize research, come and talk to us. We partner you with a mentor if you're one of our member companies. We also do a lot of programming for the community more broadly. And examples of that are our MVT training. So this is market validation training, which is 4 days of webinars, and then you're partnered with an experienced business mentor who will lead you through and really nail things about your business. And then we also have upcoming an effective sales campaign webinar that anyone is welcome to look at. So basically check out the Venture Labs website. You can look at our events page for upcoming events, which are usually webinar based and open to everybody, and our resources page for recordings from our past events. So that brings us to stories of our women tonight. So I would like to start with our first speaker. And Mimi, I'm very sorry if I don't get your last name right. Mimi, Derek, oh, I'm not even going to try. I will just wreck it. Please introduce your last name. Mimi is an entrepreneur who puts her years of customer service experience and her twin passions for fashion and sustainability to good work. She's the CEO and founder of Redeem Clothing Recycling Incorporated, a business that makes it convenient and rewarding for people to recycle their unwanted clothing instead of sending it to a landfill. She's also the 2021 winner of the Rise Up Pitch competition in the startup category. We are delighted to have her here today to share her story with us. So welcome, Mimi. I will turn it over to you to take it away.
Guys, hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm really sorry about that. So I'm just having a little bit of issues with my system. But I'm good to go. So my name is Oghenemine Jarikre. It is a little difficult to pronounce. I'm Nigerian, so it's an African name. So I guess, but you can call me Mimi. I'm just before I go ahead, I hope everyone can hear me clearly and can see me.
We can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, great. So I am the founder and CEO of Redeem Clothing Recycling. We are a convenient means to recycle your clothing items. We are currently located in the GTA. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about how I started my entrepreneurship journey. In 2018, I was hospitalized. And when I got to the hospital, the doctors told me that they weren't sure what was happening. I'd initially been diagnosed with iron anemia, but at this point, it was getting really bad. My energy was, I was so weak. But the doctors at that time still thought that it was the iron anemia. I was doing my master's program at Queen's University, master's in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. The doctors let me know that it was the iron anemia. So fast forward to 2019, I was a student. I was doing my program. I had gone to Kingston. Because of how sick I was in 2019, I was told by my school to withdraw. I would advise to withdraw because I was too sick to continue my education. Well, for me, I felt really down because I had almost finished the program, and it was just really sad to hear I couldn't continue, or because of how I was. But instead, I decided that I was going to continue my program no matter how sick I was. In 2019, while the doctors were running tests, I had a business coach at Queen's University who told me, Mimi, I know it looks really bad. I know you're down, but what I will suggest to you is if you don't want to quit school, you definitely can put in 30 minutes a day into your project. I was working on my project, which is currently my business, Redeem Clothing Recycling. So I decided I was going to put in 30 minutes every day into the work. While I was doing biopsies, doctors were running tests. I was on medication. I decided I was going to do my project. Now I did my project, graduated in August of 2019. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and pursue this further, make this a business instead of just a school project. Now, before starting my company, every time I would come up with an idea, it was always something, my mind will go through a set of questions. What if the business is not successful? What if you're not good enough? What if you're not able to make profit? What if people don't like your idea? What ifs and what ifs? I had a lot of them, but in 2019, I was staring at debt because at this point, I couldn't use my hands. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up on my own. I remember the doctors told me that they wanted to admit me in the hospital. And I told them no, that I didn't want that because it would be too depressing. Now, while I was doing all that, I decided to start a business. Decided to start my company. So, but I needed a little bit of nudge. So I decided to enroll in the Y Combinator Startup School program. I did that for a few months. At this time, no one at the program knew that I was sick. I was just going through it. Every week, I know with the program, every week we had to be accountable for something we are doing with our companies. So I decided while doing the Y Combinator program, I was going to start reading, clothing, recycling. But in doing that, I thought that I needed a big launch, a launch for the company. But I learned during Y Combinator that you don't need a big launch. You could do a soft launch. And I decided to do a soft launch instead. So I created my logo for my website using Canva. I started my website at that time using Wix. I had SIM points from my Scotiabank. I decided that I was going to, I got with the SIM points, I got e-dining gift cards. So my company, we provide rewards for donating your clothing items. So in order to provide those rewards, I gave residents or clients that would donate their clothing items to me, I gave them e-dining gift cards that I had bought with my social bank SIM points. And just like that, I started my company. So I received donation and offered my e-dining gift cards. And in 2020, I incorporated the business Redeem Clothing Recycling, and it has been amazing from there. I think that one thing that I learned, falling sick was a big hiccup for me. At that point, I didn't think that I would make it. But it made me realize that one thing I wanted to take out of it was even if I wasn't going to make it, I was going to make sure that I was going to make sure that I left this world with something. I just wasn't going to just leave it without achieving some of the goals that I wanted to achieve. And I'm here today because at that point, it conquered the only fear that I had at that point was the fear of death. So I guess it sort of conquered the other fears that I had of starting a business. Like, what if I'm not good enough? What if the company is not successful? That I had only one fear at that point. What if I didn't make it? So the rest fear just disappeared. And eventually I started my company. And then I have, in 2020, in April, we incorporated Redeem Clothing Recycling. And I've been working hard, working my job as well, while building the company slowly. In 2020, during the pandemic, there was a program that was founded by my business coach. It was a program for students to apply to get experience with companies, and I was able to join that program, and I got volunteers helping me with working with me to make Redeem Clothing Recycling what it is today. And I really appreciate those volunteers who stood by me, who worked with me, and the volunteers that are currently working with me now. They really helped me in building what Redeem Clothing Recycling is. And we take donations from, we are currently just in the GTA. and we're hoping to expand the company to other provinces and cities in Canada. But one thing that I am proud of is in this year, by God's grace, Redeem, I won the Rise Up competition startup category. I've also been a panelist at Queen's University Impact Week. I was nominated RBC Women of Influence. It has been a great opportunity for me because I founded this company at the point where I was at the lowest point of my life, where I thought that nothing could happen. At this point, I really didn't see anything going forward for me. From 2019 till now, what I have accomplished so far in terms of the growth of Redeem has been amazing. Aside my health and running a business, I know a lot of women, a lot of entrepreneurs, we go through a lot in different challenges while running a business. There is health, there is finances. When I started the company, I practically had nothing because I was sick and I spent almost all my money on medication. I'm an immigrant, so I didn't have the healthcare. I'd spent all my money in medication. So starting a company at that point was, thinking about it now, wouldn't have been the right way to go. But I needed a distraction from what was going on in my life at that point. While so much was happening, I was on medication. I was tests daily, running tests almost every other week. Starting my company made me focus on, what it could be rather than every other thing that was going on in my life at that point. So I'm here to let everyone know that if I can do it, you certainly can. You just need to put your mind to it. Some days are harder than some other days. There's some days where it just feels like, you're not, it's just a one-man show for me. It just feels like, you're not pushing hard enough, but you definitely can do it if you put your mind to it. And I'm encouraging every woman out there, every entrepreneur out there to, put their mind to it, to push hard, to keep pushing, and they'll definitely can make it. Thank you. So I'm just going to answer some questions. With my health, yes, I am way better than I was when I started the company. I am doing great. Thank you. My health is great right now. I'm no longer on the medications, but yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I have one question until somebody else puts something in the chat for you. There are a couple things in your story of your sense of the what if was always seemed to be like a negative of what if all of these horrible things happen. But it seems like really where you've gotten to is what if all of these great things happen. So where do you have your sights set next? What's next for Redeem Clothing Recycling?
For us right now, currently I walk out of my apartment. So we receive donations at the apartment. Our goal is to definitely get a place where we can receive donations instead of my apartment. And we are also working to improve our product. So what we do with the items we receive, so we sell the items are in good condition. We sell the items not in good conditions. We are working with students, fashion designers to repurpose those items. So we definitely want to, improve our product line this year and also improve our donations.
Sounds amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.